Maayong gabi kanatong tanan and welcome to another episode of Partners in Law. Again, Happy New Year and Bit Senior because we just celebrated Sinulog over the weekend. So this is again Partners in Law, a program brought to you by the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association and the Philippine Earth Justice Center. So I'll be your host for this evening I think for the whole year of 2022 again. Attorney Joy Argalion, the Litigation Advocacy Officer of the Philippine Earth Justice Center. And with me is Attorney Nika.
Happy New Year and Pit Senior sa atong mga televiewers.
Okay, so this has been a tough past month for all of us here sa Cebu. And I think for everyone in the country because we're still in a pandemic. And napunan pag yun siya sa niaging bagyo no nga grabe ang epekto sa nagkalain-laing probinsya dire sa Pilipinas labi na dire nato sa syudad sa Cebu. And to our televiewers who are watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our television channels, we're hoping and praying that for recovery sa tanan nato nga mga naapektuhan sa bagyo. And tinabangay ta and we're hoping that our will face 2022 with a strong heart na maka-recover ta and mag-ampo ta tanan no with the help of our senior Santo Niño. So Nika, kumusta man ang 2022 nato so far?
2022 so far, the start has been slow kay murag nag-try pa ta og recover since 2021 because I think for the Cebuanos and for those who have been affected by Typhoon Odette, murag the end of 2021 was cut abruptly because of we did not expect Typhoon Odette to be that strong or to affect many of us that much. So I guess 2021 we're still trying to get the hang of it, get the hang of the work, how to ang mga changes for this year. And of course, I think especially to Cebuanos kay naaman ta dire and of course the Leteños, we are trying really to get back on our feet as early as possible to of course karon kataas na ang kaso but compared to those in Manila mas grabe gyud ang ilang cases. So I think we are trying to cope up with the situation pa for now.
So for our discussion karong gabi una we'll be talking a little bit about a bit of a recap sa unsay nahitabo nato in 2021. We have had a lot of environmental wins and also a lot of challenges also in 2021, especially with the work that we're doing for the environment. And padayon gihapon siya karong 2022. So we'll do a little bit of a discussion kung unsa na yung mga nahitabo sa atong mga advokasya para sa environment. So good taog storya next.
Sige, supposedly this session kay December 2021 anta siya but since the typhoon happened, so karon nato siya buhaton ang ato ang recall for our wins last year.
So sugdan nato sa pinaka commonly gyud nga gi-discuss nato balik di po siya ingon nga balik-balik because there are a lot of aspects man in the discussion on solid waste management here, not just here in Cebu but in many parts of our country. So kapila ta hisgot aning atong programa about the issues on solid waste management. And in 2021 daghang mga sa may matawag nato daghan tang mga naagian na challenges and also at the same time some wins. So some of the challenges I guess would be still COVID-19 the pandemic. In 2021 we're still using face masks, face shields and protective gears, protective equipment, not just for our frontliners but also for everyone siguro who have been diagnosed or who have tested positive for COVID, or for taking care of persons who are tested positive for COVID. So di man gyud malikayan nga mugamit gihapon ta og plastic, and nag-pile up ang plastic waste, especially medical waste nato in the year 2021. And,
Yes, and I recall there was a study yun na nakita na during the pandemic kay na ay rise of plastics because most of the people, di ba, they're at home and magpa-Shopee, magpa-deliver, and ang packaging of those items, of course, is composed of plastic. So, and on top of that, as you've mentioned, ang kadtong face mask, the face shield, mo dyan siya ang nakakontribute sa pag-increase sa garbage. And another challenge is ang lack of proper management sa local government unit or even at the barangay level. So I think kani siya na problem kay before pa man yun siya, no, and until now we are still facing the same problem. And saying that, can we say na naabatay win last year?
I would say it was a kuan kayo siya, no, challenging siya to really strictly implement that law. And I know that there have been several LGUs of government agencies who have tried really hard to make sure to have guidelines for that. But I guess towards the end, you remember we had a policy dialogue on how to manage on the guidelines for local government units on how to handle medical waste and pandemic waste. And I think conversations and discussions with local government units, stakeholders, civil society organizations, and government agencies on unsay proper way to handle it is one way. Is step one siguro, no, towards going that direction of finding solutions to reduce and manage our solid waste. Kay murag taas-taas pa ning pandemic, no? Hopefully, with better governance and with better people handling the situation, siguro, hopefully, no, we'll stop na siya this 2022.
This will be the last year.
Last day, hopefully. We're praying for that. And but for now, since naapa man gyud ta ani in the middle of the pandemic pa man ta, we'll continue to work with different organizations to provide policy solutions and recommendations to local government units. On the issue of plastics,
Yes.
sa may ato ma-update siguro to our televiewers on that.
Yes, oo. For plastics naman, the same with solid waste management. You know, there are issues na interrelated
and interconnected.
And I want to share with our televiewers kadtong study sa DNR, especially kay close to the heart man yun to know. There were 10 sites na test sa DNR to find out whether or not naabay microplastics or the presence of microplastics. And among the 10 testing sites, kay na-identify ang Banyan and Mualbual, ba to?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, as the sites na ay taas kaayo og presence of microplastics. And you know, for province na dako kaayo or dako kayo ang number of coastal municipalities, and of course residents who live by fishing, and they rely on kaning mga isda, fishes to sustain them, kay threatening kay siya and horrifying kay siya na result, no, considering na grabe ang effect sa microplastics to health, to and of course to the fishes. And I'm happy na murag matawag na to siya na win because ang DNR, most of the government agencies are also alarmed by the situation, and I hope they will continue with the plans to address the situation, and of course to disseminate information to as many people as possible kay para ma-address ang problem firsthand, especially to those areas na maapektuhan. And aside from that, another win siguro I can say is the filing of the plastics petition, to which Philippine Earth Justice Center is also a petitioner and also has been helping the lead counsel of Oceana to come up with the judicial affidavits, and we have to thank our interns for that. Kay sila gid to ang nitabang gid no to do the interviews, to draft the first draft sa judicial affidavit. So very helpful kayo ang interns sa Philippine Earth Justice Center para mas mapadali ang atong trabaho. So I think that's a win for us, the filing of the petition, and of course the grant by the Supreme Court of the two petition, the writ of kalikasan and the writ of continuing mandamos.
And you mentioned intern ganina, no? So later for our second and third segment, natay special pod nga, we have a special guest later. We'll be introducing her. Usa sa among mga interns sa Philippine Earth Justice Center, makuyog nato for another discussion on important issues also, which will be relevant also, similar to the topic that we're discussing karon ni Attorney Nika, no? So magstorya taon niya with our intern who will be our guest this morning, no? This evening, for the Zero Waste Month, which is celebrated every January. So that's a win, Attorney Nika, no? Just the issuance of the continuing mandamos and the writ of kalikasan. Dako na kayo siyang move to reduce the plastic, to answer or to address the plastic issue that we're facing here in the country and in the whole world, di ba?
Yes.
Dili raman Pilipinas ang naka-face ani nga problema on plastic.
Yes, and I think no, it's a very big win, especially on sa side sa environmental advocates, kay for the past years nakita nato na ang Supreme Court is very hesitant in granting petitions, mga environmental cases, because maulagi na ang kanang there's a lack of like form and substance or insufficient evidence. So for the past years, kay lisod kaayo ta makakuha og win, especially when we go immediately to the Supreme Court to seek for relief. And the plastics petition, I guess, is a very big win, and I think we have to celebrate it because nakita nato na the Supreme Court is on our side. Nakita nila kung unsa ang effect sa plastics, and nakita nila na this is a problem that we should be addressing immediately.
Yes. Although it's still an ongoing process, no? Because we still have a lot of work to do regarding that case, no? But we'll claim it as a win for this year. And on top of that, padayon gihapon na sa atong advocacy for the reduction of plastic waste. And also I heard, no, because since Cebu is also a testing site for the bar examinations, no? The Supreme Court also issued the bar bulletin to reduce really plastic waste. And would also like to say po na the Philippine Earth Justice Center, we wrote a letter to the Supreme Court prior to the official announcement of the testing site that we would want, or it would be very helpful or beneficial for the environment if we took the bar, diba? And we know kung kadaghan ang plastic na ma-produce in those 4 Sundays, especially the water bottles that will be taking to the examination site. So the move to really encourage the bringing of own plastic bottles for the examinees is one big step. for the bar examinations to really reduce plastic pollution. So we'll take a break for now no, sa atong discussions on some of our wins for the environment over in 2021, and we'll move on to we'll continue this discussion when partners in law will be wrapped up.
Heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved. Heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. For you are the one I praise. You are the one I praise. Sing it with me.
Marami sa ating mga kasama, mga kakilala at mga kaibigan ang hindi pa rin lubos na makapaniwala sa ating gagawing paglahok sa darating na eleksyon. Patuloy ang mga tanungan kung totoo talaga. Ang nakatutuwa, wala namang tumututol. Nais lang na matiyak na ito ay isang laban na walang atrasan. Handang lumuhok ang marami. Pinuhay ang pag-asa. May pagpipilian na. Sa wakas, ang bawat isa sa ating hanay ay may pagkakataong ipamalas ang kabayanihan, tunay na paglilingkod at walang kupas na pagmamahal sa Diyos at bayan. Batay na rin sa tamang pag-unawa, alam natin na ang takbo ng pamumulitika dito sa atin ay dapat nang baguhin. Ibalik natin ang mga tamang batayan ng paglilingkod at paghawak sa pamahalaan. Karapatan ng ating sambayanan na pamunuan ito ng mga lider politika na may tunay na kaalaman, kakayahan at loobin na harapin ng walang alinlangan ang bawat salot sa ating lipunan. Bawiin natin ang bukas. Ibalik natin sa mamamayan ang liwanag sa ating kinabukasan. Ito ang laban natin.
We're back sa atong programa nga Partners in Law. Kini gihapon with the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association and the Philippine Earth Justice Center. So this is again the first episode that we'll be having for 2022. And we're very happy to discuss, ganina no, nag-discuss mi ni Attorney Nika about some of the wins and also wala man yung wins kung wala po yung challenges no, nga atong naagian pag 2021. So karon padayon ta na nga discussion, and also we'll also be introducing a very special guest that we have. Kanina nakamention mi nga mapasalamat kaayo no sa mga interns over the past month. Over the past months in 2021 nga nagtabang namo sa nagkalain-lain nga mga programa advokasya nga gibuhat namo in 2021. So right now we have a very special guest. Cheska, would you want to introduce yourself?
Hi! Happy New Year, guys. I'm Cheska Sarmiento. I'm a second-year law student in Ateneo, and I'm currently an intern in the Philippine Earth Justice Center. Hi!
So, thank you, Cheska, for joining us this morning, and we're happy to have you with us sa programa natin na Partners in Law. And of course, Cheska is also one of the interns assigned to us. No, she's also doing her internship with the Ateneo Human Rights Center, and one of the PJs is one of the partner organizations, one of the host organizations during their internship program. So we're happy to be able to share some of the environmental advocacy tips, and hopefully Cheska will be one of us, no, in the environmental advocacy.
the environmental field.
So, Cheska, how's your internship, the overall internship experience that you've had so far with the Ateneo Human Rights Center?
Okay lang naman. I learned a lot, super a lot, and then meron silang mga immersion and meron mga training, paralegal training for it. So I learned a lot from it, and now I'm here. So I'm super excited.
Before being assigned to Philippine Earth Justice Center, were you also assigned to other advocacy organization?
Actually, no. This is my first advocacy organization.
Okay, I see. I hope you will learn a lot, and I hope we will also meet your expectations.
Yes. So, we discussed earlier, about the wins that we've had in 2021. And related to that, it's also the problem on waste, especially here in Cebu. We're facing a lot of issues related to that. There's, of course, solid waste management. We've talked about that earlier. And also the looming threat of waste to energy facilities here in the province of Cebu. No? And related to that topic, there have been several advocacy groups, NGOs, academia, church, and different institutions who have really worked on different advocacies for zero waste or to reduce waste and at the same time shift to that kind of lifestyle instead of right now we're very consumeristic yung lifestyle natin. So we just buy things, dispose of them, we buy another one. So what's your idea of zero waste, Nika?
Zero waste, in my opinion, I'm not a real an expert, but it's a kind of lifestyle na murag in a circular siya ba? It's related to circular economy where we use something and we like murag siyang concept of recycling. So everything goes back or it circles. Walay na waste. We reuse everything, or we turn something into another na naay purpose.
So let's ask Cheska. Baka may ibang opinion din si Cheska about zero waste, or I'm sure you've heard of that term before. No?
So, similar to Attorney Nika, I really think na reusing the things we have used na, I think that's a good way to achieve zero waste because okay, personally, I actually use parang kunyari tumbler. So, you always reuse that tumbler na hindi siya tatapon agad. So, that's a good way of zero waste. And also to always constantly think na if bibilin mo yung particular thing na to, magagamit mo siya in kunyari, more than 10 times. I think that's a good way kasi consumerism nga naman, katulad ng sabi ni Atty. Nika na consumerism talaga, it really dives or it really opens waste talaga. So I think it's a good way na maganda rin yung mindset natin about it. So, similar to Atty. Nika.
Yay. So, at least, hindi siya alien, no? Hindi siya foreign term to all of us. Kasi it's really important also to really educate people about the importance of zero waste. I think people hear of it and parang zero talaga. Kasi wala na talagang waste na mag-reproduce. Of course, it's not an overnight job, no?
Yeah.
There's always a transition period for that. And I know na, I think ever since in college, I guess, or I was still in law school, I've heard of that term na before. And until now, it's still a persisting problem. So, dili siya, you really can't solve it in just a few years, no? But On top of that, in Philippine Earth Justice Center, we always say that there's really there really needs to have a collaborative effort between the different stakeholders for it to happen, for
no?
zero waste to be achieved. Diba? So when we talk of zero waste, the reason why we're talking of zero waste, no, because January is declared as the zero waste month. So as much as possible, we try to encourage people to reduce their plastic consumption. Plastic manggod is the pinaka-common, no? Gamito na to. We use it every day, no? When we go to mercado, the Changi, to the supermarket, to groceries, and kato, like what Cheska mentioned earlier na, no, the water bottles, no, especially na we always, that's the easiest way to go because of convenience, no, especially if wala kay bit-bit na water bottle. So zero waste month is declared, no, is celebrated every January to encourage people to shift towards that direction. As much as possible, when we go to groceries, dapat bit-bit na taog kada grocery bags natin or eco bag. And related to that, no, since this is we're all working in the legal profession, no, we'll talk a little bit about the law, no, that gives us different regulations and guidelines on how to do that. So, unsa man nga law ato ang isgotan Attorney Nika?
So, ang gipasabot na law ni Attorney Joy is the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, or what we commonly know as RA 9003. So, RA 9003, for the information of our televiewers, outlines or enumerates the obligations not only of the public to reduce waste or to how to manage their waste, but it also outlines the obligations of the government on how to effectively manage and reduce our solid waste.
Yes. So, Cheska, you've already encountered RA 9003 ba in
Yes, I did na.
Can you share a little bit of, some practical things that we've learned about its implementation and how it's relevant right now?
So for the solid waste management, I learned that it's actually the LGU was the one primarily to implement it, and then actually the private sector is actually invited to also implement it with the LGU. So the manpower here is really on the city and the ordinances. So upon my research po, since I'm in QC, so Quezon City, I actually researched kung meron bang implementation that would actually do that. And if we're gonna talk about it later, I can share it na lang later. And then also I learned that it's actually more of a parang guide sa people to change their practices and lifestyle so that it would be more harmonious to the environment, and that it would be more of a, not actually yung tama yung sabi ni Attorney Joy na it's not actually parang totoong zero. It's more of like reduction talaga kasi we're producing so much waste. So it's actually good for us to minimize it so much. So that's what I learned in the overview of the law.
Okay, so I think it's good that you mentioned no na LGU really has that primary jurisdiction kumbaga to implement the RA 9003 in terms of ano yung dapat gawin on the ground, because that has always been the concern, no, the problem. How do we encourage the smallest unit, like starting from the barangay, from cities and municipalities, how will they effectively implement the solid waste management plan? And we mentioned that, no, and we relate that to the zero waste month, no, because right now we're facing ayun nga ang daming plastics and mabuti na lang no, hindi masyadong, because we just celebrated Sinulog over the weekend, compared to the past Sinulog celebrations na sobrang daming waste na nako-collect every Monday
Yes.
after Sinulog because of the street parties, the Mardi Gras, and sobrang daming activities going on in the city. Although over the weekend, of course, medyo quiet naman yung streets, no, because of course we're still in the pandemic, so hindi tayo we can't freely go out and enjoy Sinulog compared to how we did it before. But we're very happy that in Cebu City also we also have some guidelines to limit solid waste management. And one of the important wins I would probably add is the ordinance on banning plastics and styrofoam in public gatherings. No, Sinulog would have been a public gathering. It would have been very relevant sa Sinulog na instance natin here in Cebu.
We could have tested the penalties
stated under the ordinance.
Yes.
Had we celebrated Sinulog like before. And from what I know, I can't really exactly recall the exact number, but I think there are about more than 100 local government units who already passed a resolution or an ordinance maybe supporting the ban on single-use plastics. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Quezon City is among those LGUs.
Yeah. Yes.
Who also issued, I think there's an ordinance in Quezon City banning the use of single-use plastic, like Cebu City.
Yeah. So that's also one thing that we're happy to know, no? And I think growing pa in numbers yung yung mga local government units natin who are doing their share to ban single-use plastic, no? Kasi yun yung pinaka if there would be like a waste audit. Single-use plastic talaga yung pinaka-common and pinaka-grabe yung volume nila when every time there's waste being collected. So I think we'll take a break for now, no? And would like to thank our sponsors and partners in law. Will be back in a few minutes.
You're giving your all in His glory, touching each heart and soul by spreading His words and wonderful deeds that send forth His kingdom. It's love that you feel, that you care for all who have gone astray. You show them the way that leads to His full of life. It's life.
back in Partners-in-Law. So kanina, we discussed about a little bit about zero waste, kung ano yung zero waste and ano yung mga wins in terms of, how to support the zero waste advocacy. So today, I want to ask Attorney Joy kung what tips can you share with our televiewers kung paano ba natin i-adapt yung zero waste lifestyle?
I'd like to start na small steps can really contribute to something big. Hindi it's not necessary na like big and sobrang grand transition talaga siya to zero waste. Although it would be nice if like we really commit ourselves to a zero waste lifestyle. But of course, it's mahirap din to totally automatically talaga and abruptly change it, no? So I'd like to give some tips, no, especially what I do at home. We can start by using reusable plastic containers or like tumblers, Tupperwares, no? Instead of when we go to the Carinderia or when we go to buy something from a restaurant, na they would wrap it in plastic wraps, and most of the time those are single-use plastics, diba? So if we can, no, and I know it's a little bit effort yun on our part, on our end, but doing all these things maybe on a daily basis, it eventually becomes a habit, diba? And you wouldn't really find it becoming a chore anymore, no? Na magdala pa ko og tumbler, magdala pa ko og
Eco bag.
But eventually, when you do it daily on a day-to-day basis, or you just put it inside your bag para when you go out and punta ka sa grocery, it would be easier. You can say no to the plastic packaging, to the plastic bag, in the grocery because you already have an eco bag. So some of those tips, and also I know right now because mentioned earlier that because we're holed up in our homes, it's easier to add to cart and buy different things, the different interesting things that we can find on shopping platforms like Shopee or Lazada, or as much as possible, siguro, maybe we can take a pause and maybe take a break. part of the 2022 resolution.
Maybe you have to delete your application so you won't be tempted.
Yes, but minsan kasi when we add to cart, parang we think like, I will use it, but eventually it's not very useful, and it would just lay at the corner of your house or your apartment. So maybe think twice before checking out all those items in your cart, diba? So I think that's some of the items for me to reduce waste talaga, because I've seen and I'm not saying I'm really a role model pa talaga on zero waste, but I've been guilty of also online shopping. So as much as possible, try to make sure that when you receive the parcels, sometimes it masakit sa heart if you see all those bubble wrap sa plastic packaging. And try to recycle siguro some of them if kaya pa. And just last year we launched a project on plastic collection because we're doing this initiative of converting plastic packaging, the thin type of plastic into something. We're upcycling it to bags and other
wallets,
other useful materials that we can benefit from. So siguro that's for me. Some of the small tips lang naman, but hopefully it will give a little bit of insights to our televiewers what to do. Baby steps muna.
And I want to ask
Cheska.
how about Cheska?
Okay. So, actually, medyo similar rin naman kay kanina. Tumbler and then reuse plastic bag sa supermarket. So, adding on to that na lang, I think okay nga yung eco bags kasi usually when I go to the supermarket, if wala kang eco bag, tapos you want a plastic bag, they charge you like 2 pesos or 10 pesos per plastic bag. Or sometimes brown bag na lang, paper brown bag. And then, so it's actually better if you, bili ka ng kahit eco bag lang, yung tigit 10 pesos lang dyan, or kaya may stroller actually, may mga ganun na nga yung trend. Another thing is, ngayon sa parcels, actually ang ginagawa ko sa parcels, meron ako dito ngayon, ginagawa ko is yung plastic, nire-reuse ko siya, kasi kunyari, bibili ka sa Shein or something, meron silang magagandang plastic bag na you can reuse, na lalagyanan mo ulit ng damit or kaya ng mga stuff kaysa itapon mo na lang. And then another tip is metal straw actually. Yun talaga. Usually kasi ngayon sa establishments dito sa QC, they actually don't allow na magkaroon ka ng straw. Kunyari mag-dine-in ka, actually bawal straws. So actually it's better na you bring your own metal straw sa restaurant or kaya outside, outside, instead of manghihingi ka pa ng straw kasi tatapon mo rin naman the next after mo ay gamitin, di ba? Ano pa ba yung magagandang tips? Ayun, actually don't buy sachets. Ayun, buy bottles of it. Kasi instead, alam ko medyo mas mahal siya, pero it's actually an investment na rin if you think about it. Instead of using kunyari sachet na one lang, you can actually use a bottle. Kahit mas mahal siya, think of it as an investment na rin na you don't have to buy another one, di ba? So, ayun yung top of my head lang rin na little tips.
And especially na may mga hindi naman lahat siguro, pero may mga refilling stations na like yung mga shampoos or that nandyan yan sa mga malls. And speaking of the initiative, yung project ng Philippine Earth Justice Center, I want to invite our viewers kung may mga single-use plastics kayo sa bahay na inipon ninyo, you can drop them off sa Philippine Earth Justice Center office sa University of Cebu, Manila. Nagko-collect na pa rin naman kami kasi supposedly December mag-end, but since unfortunate things happen, so the project na push back yung project, and yung partner namin si Mariel, may mga ginagawa pa rin siya ngayon. So open pa po ang Philippine Earth Justice Center to accept yung plastic donations ninyo.
Yes, because alam naman natin na from time to time we've collected a lot of plastic packaging, not just from online shopping, but some of the plastic that we've collected, like plastic for sliced bread or plastics for detergent.
Yes.
Yung common household materials na we've collected over time. And tama nga yung na-mention ni Chester earlier, na yung mga, instead of going for the sachets, alam naman natin we still have that sachet culture here sa Pilipinas. But it's also a good note to highlight that right now ang dami ng mga eco stores, di ba? Na nasabi mo nga kanina, Nika, that would allow refilling of like shampoos, lotions, and which are commonly in sachets, diba? So, tama yun. It's a good investment. Like you just bring a large bottle. I think other bottles you can like convert it to a shampoo bottle. So those are some of the things na maybe hindi natin take for granted natin kasi because convenient nga to buy all these things from the store. But these are some of the things na would really help us transition to the zero waste lifestyle. And also, adding on to the discussion on circular economy, it's really important right now to try as much as possible to make use of things that we have at home na hindi lang siya for one use only, no? So it's a circular process. It's a cycle na kung may gamit ka, when you have something like, maybe a bag at home, and instead of throwing it, you can use it for some other use, upcycling it, and if you also you can sell it to recycling establishments. Kasi I think they would have better use for it, diba? And then you also earn it.
Yeah.
Sabi nga nila may pera sa basura, diba?
Yeah.
If you just be resourceful then and creative on what you're gonna do.
Yeah, and I also want to share with our televiewers because before, remember in Asturias, they gave us this bag as a token of appreciation when we conducted paralegal training in the area. And you know, the bag, we have been using
That was in
until
2020.
2020, but the bag is still alive and still perfectly working. So
And it's here in the studio.
Yes, it's here in the studio, and it's very durable. Ginagamit what we've been putting whatever in the bag, and we've been using it for 2 years now and going 3 years. And na-appreciate ko talaga lang yung bag. I don't know, I can't let go of it. It looks so simple and it's so light. So, hindi, shoulder friendly siya. So, nakikita
It's made of plastic, diba?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's made of
It's
plastic.
made, oo.
From the livelihood program of the mothers in the area who were there, who hosted us with that paralegal
Yeah.
training.
So, yan, it's one of tip sa ating mga televiewers na we can really make use of plastic and turn it into something useful na we don't need to buy luxury bags or those bags na mga leather kasi hindi pa siya animal friendly.
So, siguro to cap off our episode this morning, hindi pa naman siya ended, but we also want to discuss, for this episode, some of our New Year's, diba? We always talk of New Year's resolution every, at the start of the year. So we also want to do that, but it's an environmental themed New Year's resolution. So some of the wish lists siguro that we want to see this 2022. Okay, Cheska, you want to start?
Sige po. For 2022, I think a good way para doon is to reduce my spending sa clothes. Kasi the thing is, parang, actually, feel ko marami makaka-relate is, marami akong clothes sa closet, kaso nga lang hindi ko siya masyadong gagamit. So, once I grow out of it, diba, or kaya kunyari namatay na yung trend na yun, it's actually gonna be a waste later on na parang, okay, ano gagawin ko sa damit na to? So I think it's a good way na to change my lifestyle on, or kaya thinking na instead of, kunyari, wow, naging YouTuber, pero instead of going for trendy pieces na for the closet nyo, I think it's a good way na you mas mag-bulk buy ka on the basics para it will last for you for a long time. So, ayun lang, I took it from me. At saka also, my New Year's resolution na rin na to not buy a lot of clothes. Also, to reduce yung Shopee and yung Lazada. Yeah, I think yun.
How about your New Year's parang wish for the environment, or what you want to see in terms of siguro environmental governance that we have in the country?
I think my wish is gumalaw yung government. Kasi once you go out, kunyari outside ng house or village, pagdating mo sa streets, laging merong pile of garbage. Like, and hindi man everywhere, pero like there's always a pile of garbage, like one street or kaya sa highways. So medyo, hindi lang pangit tingnan, pero actually super sama rin niya for everyone na living around the area. Kasi, di ba, ang ano lang, parang super unhealthy in a way. So I think a good way, my wish is for the government na gumalaw sa mga pile of garbages na yun and wag lang ibaliwala. Kasi most of the time binabaliwala lang nila na parang konti lang yan. Pero alam mo, it piles up. So ayun, that's my wish.
Okay.
Thank you,
Cheska, for sharing. No, and I think those are relevant, comments and observations. Because for me then, similar to Cheska's resolution and as well as my wish list. So for this year, I would want to really focus on transitioning myself to reducing waste talaga. Because I would remember na 2021 was a year of parang online shopping and diba? It's really naging inevitable siya because of the pandemic and it's really hard to go out, no? But for 2022, hopefully I can change that and also try and encourage others to do the same, diba? And the second resolution is to expand the campaign on not just an environmental advocacy, but also on governance, diba? Because also this year is the election year, and we're hoping that I think I saw a post on I think even before pa in the past elections, no. It's also very important to have a green vote. As advocates and lawyers, no, for the environment, it's really important also for the work that we do that the people that we put in office would have that kind of mindset and perspective for the protection talaga of the environment, especially after what happened in Odette in 2021 in December, and it's really climate change in our faces, really showing us the drastic effects if we don't do something major about the policies that we have for climate. So that's my wish list also for this 2022.
And for me naman, I share the same resolution with you na I want na for this year, we would have a climate-oriented government. And kasi nakita natin sa Odette na parang slow yung relief operations. It's because, all countries, all of us, all local government units are really coping up with the COVID situation, with the pandemic. Na ubos na yung budget, so it's difficult to send help to other areas when you yourself is also struggling, diba? So I want na, my vote goes to someone na my environmental platform. And secondly, my wish is that I hope yung oceans natin will be rid of all the single-use plastics floating everywhere, because we've shared during our previous sessions here in CPT, and Philippines is top 3 contributor of plastic debris pollutants in our oceans, and that's worldwide. So that's my really important wish this 2022.
Yes. And in addition to that, since you mentioned about oceans naman, Odette has also affected a lot of coastal resources, and not just sa coast din, no, also underwater. And it will definitely affect livelihood of many of our fisher folks, who depend on fishing for the livelihood. So that's also a wish for recovery of our ocean, and with better policies, with better governance, hopefully we'll be able to help our oceans recover, not just from plastics, from the aftermath of the typhoon,
but also in many other issues that we're facing in our country or in the world. So I guess that's a good way to end our episode, no, with hopes of a better 2022. And we'd also like to encourage viewers to do the same. We always talk about New Year's resolution. So why not make a New Year's resolution with a theme for the protection of the environment. And right now, hinaot mi nga inyong mga actions or mga decisions this 2022 would be very beneficial for our environment. So, we're running out of time na, no? This is a very nice way to start our 2022, a discussion on the different things that we would want to see in 2022. So, before we end, we'd just like to invite our televiewers to like our Facebook page, no, sa Philippine Earth Justice Center. Kami, we're a non-government organization who would help in environmental issues. So you can like and follow our Facebook page for more updates. No, you can send issues to our online legal help desk. So as much as possible, we would help you if na ay matabang ana ng mga issues sa ating environment. And also for more episodes of Partners in Law, you can follow us, CCTN 47 on Facebook, and also the Sibuli Lawyers Association YouTube channel, because all these episodes will be uploaded on the Sibuli Lawyers Association, the Partners in Law YouTube channel. So, dili lang mga topics about the environment, but also different legal issues ang panagsusutan, nagkalain-lain mga abogado, mga membro sa Sibuli Lawyers Association. So, this has been a good hour of discussion for the environment. Attorney Nika, final message siguro? So lang to, I hope na our televiewers will support and join our advocacy, our environmental advocacy for a better 2022. And lastly, for 2022, wishing you all a happy new year and and hope you're all safe and healthy this 2022. So padayon gihapon ta magprotektar para sa atong kaugalingon ug para sa atong mga igsikataw. So this is Partners in Law. Ako si Attorney Joy, kuyog ni Attorney Nika, and with Cheska, our intern sa Philippine Earth Justice Center. Mayong gabi kaninyong tanan ug take care. God bless.